Hello, my name is Chris Arnett. And have you ever been so upset that your stomach hurt? Well, science has proven that there is a connection between the mind and the body. In fact, they even call one of those connections the mind-stomach connection. It is well known that your mind does have an effect on your body. Issues with the mind will come out in different points of the body. I'm going to talk to you today about the importance of your first chakra and why it is vital, I mean vital, that you pay close attention to what I'm going to say today. If you don't know what a chakra is, then this lecture probably is not for you. Those of you who do know about chakras, you can recognize the 7 major chakras, and we're going to be dealing with the root chakra. That is the red chakra located at the base of the spine. We're going to be looking at some of the issues when it's out of balance that could be hurting a lot of people in their lives. Now, as you know, what is going on inside your mind can be seen as reflected at various points in your body. We know that. For example, you get an upset stomach. That often comes from being upset in your head. We see women do that all the time. They're mentally upset and suddenly their stomach hurts. We know this connection. The root chakra, it is associated with our connection to the earth, to our connection to our survival instinct, to our basic health, to abundance. Now, listen very carefully, very important. To family, to passion, and moving forward in life. 2 of those areas have affected me very deeply recently. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. When your chakra is working okay, people who have a very well functioning, open, and balanced chakra, especially at the root chakra, they often are grounded in reality. They're often down to earth, in control of their drives. They have limitless energy. They have good motivation. They're very reliable. They're adventurous. They have a feeling of being alive. And they're able to manifest their own prosperity. But that is not why we're here today. No. We're here to look at the opposite when it's out of balance, underactive or even overactive. Okay? What effects can a blocked first chakra have on an individual? Now, you got to pay attention. I want you to pay close attention. See if you recognize some of these symptoms that you may have in your own lives. Tiredness or exhaustion. You're constantly tired. You're constantly exhausted. Now, remember, this is representation of what's going on inside your mind. Okay? Like if you have issues with your family, that's going to come out somewhere in your body. You're going to feel things. If you have issues with passion, of course it's going to come out somewhere in the body. So you might be tired, you might have exhaustion. There's a disease called ME, blood disorders, low blood pressure, even being impotent. Yes. Kidney or bladder problems, elimination difficulties, and I'll go a little bit more into that in just a moment. Even anemia, your blood, yes. Obesity, lower back pains, of course, because of the first or root chakra is right there at the base of the tailbone. So if that's not working right, then of course you're going to have issues there if you have energy blockage there. Problems accepting physical reality. Now here we have a young man named Elliot Rodger. And if you know anything about him, he recently killed 6 people, including himself, all because he lived in a false reality. If you know that's the tragedy of that story, you know what happened, you can see what's going on. If the root or base chakra becomes unbalanced, you may feel stuck and just can't seem to move forward in life. You may feel ungrounded with a depleting sense of your own self. This frequently happens following things such as traumatic events, family problems, death of a loved one, and major life changes. This is a chakra test that I did in 2007. As you can see, my root chakra was open 38%. I believe it was at a higher level earlier, but I did not take a test back then, back in the early 90s, early 2000s. But I did experience the symptoms of the overbalance. Since then, early 2004, my little brother passed away. 2007, I took this test. Now look what happened today, 2 years after my father has passed away. I've lost my drive and passion. Look at the root chakra. Before we do that, I want you to pay attention to the crown chakra at the very bottom that says 38%. Look at the changes. Underactive, 6%. The crown is open, 62%. I've been explaining to the males that I coach in online or in dating that I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to go do teaching in the metaphysical community. Look at the results. Look at what's going on inside of me. There it is right there in plain black and white. A blockage in the root chakra prevents the release of grief, as I experienced, guilt, and sadness. Now, in the case of my little brother, he had kidney cancer. The doctors said they're not going to operate. I was looking for some natural cures that could help at least extend his life a little bit. He found out he had cancer in July of 2004. He died in August. Or I'm sorry, June of 2004, and he died in August. The day he died, one of the natural cures that I had ordered came in the mail. I had no idea that he would die so fast. I've carried a lot of guilt over that, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. Unable to release it. My first chakra became extremely blocked. It dropped it down to 38%. It's also involved in contributing to the inability to move forward and preventing you from following your destiny. Now, common psychological symptoms of an unbalanced chakra would include loneliness. How many of you are lonely? Insecurities, feeling ungrounded, unconfident or lack of confidence, abandoned. I talked to a young male today that I'd given a copy of a chakra program that I developed too, and he mentioned that he grew up without his father figure and feelings of abandonment. Indecisive, depressed, anxious. That same person suffers from anxiety issues, addictions, phobias, obsessions. We saw many of these within Elliot Rodger. Obsessions on blonde girls. Sciatica, varicose veins, constipation, diarrhea, rectal and anal problems, including many of those issues that are just a little bit too dirty to even go into. Water retention and problems with the groin, the hips, the legs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and the feet. Why? Because, of course, the root chakra is at the base of the spine. So anything below it is going to become affected. Remember, things in the mind do come out in your body. You've got to make that association. If you have issues in your mind, they're going to show up in your body. You must make that logical association. There's nothing ooga booga about it or super fantastic, scary. It's a common logical issue. Okay? Often people can't achieve goals. They're materialistic, lack of confidence, self-destructive, feels unlovable. I've heard that one so often. Little interest in sex in some people, masochistic, and suicidal. Suicidal, does that sound familiar? Can you say Elliot Rodger again? Remember, the root chakra deals with the feelings of security, right? Security, stability, right? And the feeling that you are grounded no matter what situation you're in. If your root chakra is blocked or underactive, you probably feel very nervous, often full of anxiety, and you're fearful. Again, we look at what's going on in the mind and how it comes out in the body. Okay? We back engineer. Moreover, you tend to feel very materialistic, you wanting more and being very resistant to changes that are occurring around you if this chakra is overactive. The bottom line is that you want your chakras to be in complete balance with one or another, not overactive or underactive, because when it's overactive, you get aggressive. I had bouts of aggression back in my 30s, back in the 90s. Explosive personality, I didn't suffer from that one. No, that's not one of mine. Dominating, though, I was very dominating in all of my relationships. Selfish to others. Now, the joke here is that my sons, to this day, if you mention apple pie to them, they'll tell you the story how on Sundays, I would make sure there was an apple pie for dinner because I always had Sunday dinners with my family. And I would eat most of the pie and save them like a little tiny slice. I actually do recall doing that. So I started insisting that there were two pies, one for me and one for my boys. But selfish to others. I was extremely selfish to others. Highly materialistic, that one I've never suffered from. Egotistical. We look at Elliot Rodger. Very egotistical. He believed that all women, because they would not come up to him and lay on the ground in front of him and open their legs for him right away. That's only blondes. Brunettes, redheads, no. You don't even exist. You're animals to him. He believed that because they wouldn't do that, that all women should be killed except for a few that should be left for breeding. That's in his 140-page manifesto that he left. Yes, egotistical. Manipulative. That's one of mine, though. I was very, very, very manipulative. Self-serving, also very self-serving in some ways, yes. Sees others as sex objects. Again, we look at Elliot Rodger and myself. I saw women as sex objects only back in the 90s. That's why I had sex with so many women. Volatile, I was not volatile. Obsessive, I had my obsessions, yes. Overindulgent, yes, I overindulged in sex back then. Overambitious. Now, some people can be ambitious, and that's a good thing. But when it comes to the blinding, like a horse with blinders on, all you're focused on is that, that's where it becomes a bad thing. Now, the question is, what can you do about this? Well, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do. Number one, recognize that your problems on the outside do come from inside of you. That means if your life is messed up on the outside, if you don't have love in your life, if you're lonely, you can't go over and meet someone, if you're not following your destiny, you have no drive, you have no passion, recognize these are issues that's going on inside of you. If you're able to make that connection, then you and I can have a dialogue. If you're not, I want you to stop watching me right now. Just click off. It's not even worth your time, okay? If you're still here, recognize and realize the truth. If your life is messed up on the outside, then you're messed up on the inside. Again, look at Elliot Rodger. Number two, make the connection to your family and your roots, because that's one of the issues there, which is what I'm going to start doing. I do have some cousins on my father's side. When my father passed away, I felt alone. I said to my students, I have no one left. Although I do have a mother and a brother, half-brother left. But I'm going to start making a connection to my father's side of the family. I'm looking at African history to reestablish my roots and my grounding. So I'm out there actively trying to make this happen so that I can heal this area and reopen the mental side of that so that the physical side can change as well. Number three, start to meditate. Why? Really? Why? Simple. It's very, very simple. If you understand the mind, you understand what I'm going to say. Meditation works on the mind. The mind is the fertile soil that you plant your seeds in. If the mind is messed up, you put seeds in that soil, you try to grow a crop, you're not going to get a good crop. But if the fertile soil of the mind is good, then you will get a good crop. Your trees will give fruit, good fruit. If the mind is poisoned, the ground is poisoned, the fruit will be poisoned. The fruit is your outer accomplishments, your outer life. That will be poisoned. Do you understand? It's important that you actually understand this simple concept. Meditation works on the mind, so it prepares the mind. It helps the mind. Now, if you need help with this, I just created a super first chakra healing meditation that I'm actually currently using on myself. Now, this meditation has 4 PowerPoints that I incorporated. Number 1, I am using an actual hypnosis induction script. Why? Because nobody is making chakra meditation programs that will relax your minds before you start doing the meditation work. How can you get good meditation if you don't prepare the mind? I never understood why people don't add a hypnosis induction script or tool to their meditations. It never made sense to me. So I made sure I put that in there. Secondly, I included two different meditations within this powerhouse program. The first one is the old grounding cord meditation that many of you are familiar with if you work with the chakras. And the second one is a bit more extravagant and very, very powerful. Very powerful. Third point I want to make is that I also included the right musical tone that the ancients have found that will respond to your base chakra. There is a tone that if you play that tone, as you heard with the Tibetan monks and their tone bells, it will hit your first chakra and stimulate it. I've included that in the music bed of this program. I'm coming at you from all kinds of angles. And the 4 things, I put them all together in a short, simple, easy-to-do program that takes under 20 minutes of your time. Under 20 minutes. Actually, 16 minutes. You got a 15-minute lunch break, you could actually do it in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes at work, instead of getting all stressed out, having lots of stress, you could actually prepare your mind and find peace and also benefit yourself and put yourself on the right path that you need to be on. Imagine going to work not being stressed during your day. Imagine that. Well, how much is it? That's the next question, correct? Well, how much is it? I asked you, well, what is the cost of getting rid of all of those problems that you just saw worth to you? And you know, many of you actually suffer from those. How much does it cost? How much is it actually worth to get rid of those? $100 and up? Yeah. 60? Yeah. 50, 40? Yeah. How about priceless? How much is loneliness worth to you? You're constantly lonely, still struggling out there in life. You don't want to become disconnected like Elliot Rodger was. You saw his videos. If you haven't, go watch his videos. Look how disconnected from reality, ungrounded he was. You never want to become like that. And I just counseled a young man today on the exact same thing. He had put up 25 selfies of himself, of just his hair, in the same shirt. That's disconnected from reality. Priceless. Well, you can get my program that can help you in your life for only $7. Yeah, just $7. $7. $7. You can dig in your couch and find $7. Now imagine a life without anxiety, fearfulness, or any of those problems I talked about. Imagine how your life would be like. Imagine it. Imagine being able to go anywhere you want and not feel fearful. Now, I'm going to bring this up in just a moment. And not feel fearful. Imagine a life of power and abundance. You start with the root chakra. That will get you on the path of power and abundance. You've got to start at the beginning, at the base, to heal your life. You must start there. You can't jump around. You've got to start at the beginning and then build from there. So imagine a life of power and abundance beginning right now. Now, this is not some kind of magic crap, wizards and casting spells or some silly stuff like that. Don't mean to say silly to insult anyone. You still must do real work in your real life on yourself, as I'm going to make the effort to contact my relatives to reestablish my connection to family, because that's important to me. You still must do real work on yourself. That's my point. Okay? This tool helps. And if it's a tool that helps, it should be a tool that you should be looking at if you want to improve your life. Meditation helps get your mind in order so that you can fight the good fight better, as they say. You've heard that phrase, fight the good fight. Your entire life is the good fight. You're fighting for your life right now, fighting to survive, fighting to get better in your life. Meditation helps. It has been proven all over the world. You know this. Meditation helps. What I want you to do, if you are really looking for a boost in your life, is to click on the link that will either be below this video or provided later on. Now, I gave my program to, as I said earlier, to one of the members of my forum. He just wrote me back and said, I love it. It is by far the best chakra meditation. This young man is into chakra meditations. He just paid money to have his chakras cleared. And he said, it is by far the best chakra meditation. He also said, it's so great, I did it twice in a row. Twice in a row. That's how much he loved it. He also said, I'm so relaxed, anxiety-free, because I said he suffers from anxiety. He says, I'm going to the club here. He's down in Miami. He's going to the club. This man did not want to go to a nightclub to try to meet someone. And he's going to go to the club, and he's anxiety-free. It gave him a moment of peace. A moment of peace out there. So you have a choice right now. Either you can start to do something in your life about your problems, like if you're a man, like a man, you could either do something about it, like someone who's looking for success, who is finally fed up, or you can keep beating your head against a wall and just click to the next video. The choice is yours. You can either take the red pill and wake up and start to utilize your natural tools, such as your mind, help your mind work for you, put your mind to work on your problems, or you can take the blue pill and go back to sleep. Keep beating your head against the wall. Yes, the choice is yours, my friend.